Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about the planning committees. After whatever Ravi Babu doctor had told you, the continuation, I'll be taking the committees. So before we start with the committees, first let us know what is planning and what is health, a bit of the history of about our conditions, health planning we had in our country from ages. So health planning in India is integrated with the national socio-economic planning. It's a part of socio-economic planning. So a country is prosperous when the health of the people of the country is good. The guidelines for national health planning were provided by a number of health and welfare committees which were appointed by Government of India. And coming to the history, India, as you all know, is a very vast country, and in the population size it is only second to China, which is the first in the population, and it has oldest tradition of our public health practices. From the days immemorial we are practicing certain community health principles. Like for you can now in the era of this COVID, again all these things are becoming very, very important. So washing the feet before entering the house, hand wash, all these things were part of our Sanatana Dharma. Before eating food or after going to the toilet, always it was made mandatory that you should wash your hands. And public health in India can be traced back to pre-medieval times. We all have read about the Indus Valley civilization during our school days, and we know it was a well-planned cities they had, the drainage system and the drinking water supply, the community bathing system, and everything was very much planned and maintained nicely. And coming to the hospitals as such, during Ashoka's period, there were hospitals which were set up for the sick people. And not only human health, the animal environmental health was also taken care. The kings and all used to have the horses, elephants, and these animals which were helping the kings in maintaining the defense position of their country. So they were also having veterinary doctors and also the people who are taking care of the environmental health. Now, before we talk about the committees, first, what is that you have understood by planning till now? So, this is an organized, conscious, and continuous attempt to select the best available alternatives. Like you have 4 or 5 methods, so you should know which one is more cost effective and which one suits the culture and tradition of the community. And it is a continuous process. You are not just leaving. Once you select, it is not the end of it. It's always continuously you're doing research on that. And this is to achieve specific goals. So planning is an organized, conscious, and continuous attempt to select the best available alternatives to achieve specific goals. And in the planning, now we are talking about the health planning. It is the orderly process defining national health problems. So first is you are defining health problem, and then identifying the unmet needs, surveying the resources to meet them, and establishing the priority goals to accomplish the purpose of proposed program. So here you are planning what are the problems to be tackled and what are the different things which we have not yet met, the needs, the needed, what the community needs and what we are lacking, and then resources to meet those needs. So let it be the human resource, financial resource, or the technical resource, you are surveying that also, and establishing the priority goals to accomplish the purpose and proposed program. So first you are proposing a program, then you are defining the problem. So okay, now we want to tackle the health problem of India. Then accordingly, as we have covered till now, from now what addition. For example, now we are going through this COVID time. It means everything has to be done in emergency. Immediately they have to decide what to do. Suppose ventilators, whatever we have, how to use them, what best we can use, the masks and then the visors, etc., all these things. So you are planning so many things. From macro to micro level planning has to be done. And actually the most important thing right now in our health system is the primary health care. The Alma-Ata declaration, it was purely on primary health care, and the national health policy of the government gave a new direction to health planning in India, making primary health care the central function and main focus of its national health system. So primary health care is the main source. That is, you are going to the grassroots level, you are going to the every village, every house, and you are tackling the cases, or you are educating the people there in the community. So the basic unit when we take the community medicine is like the bed of the ward, it is the family. So that is how we plan, and then we are able to cater services to the individual villages. That is what we mean when we talk about primary health care. So the goal of national health planning in India was to attain health for all by the year 2000. So they had kept the goal by 2000 we will attain health for all. But again, as you know, things keep changing. It is, as I told you, is dynamic. So every time you fix a target, you have a goal, and then you achieve, then again you reevaluate and how to continue it, or we can stop this program and go with some other program. We will be always dynamically, this process will be continuing. And coming to the different health committees we had even before our independence to till date, how we are managing, we'll be dealing that. So we had Bhor committee, Shetty committee, Chadda committee, Mudaliyar committee, Mukherjee committee and Jain committee. They were all in different periods. Bhor committee was in 1946, Shetty 54, and Chadda committee in 1963, Mudaliyar committee in 1962, and Mukherjee committee in 1965, and Jain committee in 1966. All these committees were dealt in Dr. Ravi Babu's class on Wednesday. And coming to the remaining, the other committees, it was Jungalwala committee. This was in 1967. Jungalwala committee, 1967. Kartar Singh committee in 1973. Srivastava committee, Ramalinga Swamy committee, and we had High Power Commission on Nursing and Nursing Profession. Nursing is also a very important part of medical profession. So we have different cadres of people in healthcare system. So and then next is Bajaj committee. That was in the year 1986. And now we'll discuss about Jungalwala committee, which had the origin in 1967, and then it is also known as integration of health services. This is, they wanted to integrate, this committee is known as Committee on Integration of Health Services. And Dr. Jungalwala, the then director of National Institute of Health Administration and Education, and now it is called National Institute of Health and Family Welfare, New Delhi, he headed the committee. And coming to the different aspects what the committee stressed, it wanted the integrated system for curative, preventive and promotive. That is, it's not just a patient is sick then we treat. No, it has to be a promotive health service, preventive health service and curative service. And these services from the highest to the lowest level, you must be able to give it to the rural areas also. It advocated a united approach to health problems and not segmental solutions to individual problems. That is like it is health in toto, the well-being of the human being in toto, not just to treat the sick or the bedridden like that. So it is curative, preventive and promotive health services, supplying from the highest to the lowest level. And what are the recommendations of this committee? So it wanted uniform cadre of health workers, preparation and maintenance of a common seniority list of health personnel, and then sanctioning of equal pay for equal work and special pay for special work. So that they wanted to maintain a balance, like all under one cadre, whoever is there will have the equal pay, and you are doing a special work, you will get a special pay. Provision of good working conditions for government doctors. So wherever you are working, suppose you are asked to go to a district level, so you are comfortable to work there. Why everybody is preferring the cities nowadays? Because once we are going to a place, a remote place, that we don't have proper schools or proper entertainment and then proper social circle and all, it becomes difficult for the doctor to go and get adjusted. So first is you must have good schools in all the places, so that a doctor doesn't feel that he should be attached to a city where you have good schools. So you must provide good working conditions. When you are working there, you must be comfortable. Your work atmosphere should also be maintained. Not only the facilities for the family as such, for a doctor who is in the hospital also, the conditions should be good. And banning private practice by the government doctors. This is a very good move, I feel. Like you don't want to encourage private practice, you must give some incentives, and then you must see that the government doctor sees only in the government hospital. And then they said there must be one primary health center for every 50,000 population, and there should be 16 subcenters at the rate of one subcenter for 3,000 to 3,500 population under each primary health care. That is, you will have 15 to 16 subcenters under a primary health care center, which is catering their services to 50,000 population. And then each subcenter should be manned by one female health worker and one male worker. So minimum subcenter, that is for 3,000 population, you will have one female health worker and one male health worker, and their work was also clearly defined, and they were trained in this work they do. So that is about what? That is about Jhunjhunwala Committee. Next is Kartar Singh Committee, which started in 1973, and Kartar Singh Committee is also called Committee on Multi-Purpose Worker under Health and Family Planning. So one person will be trained to do different works. That is, he is called multi-purpose worker, and this is under health and family planning also. And this committee report is a milestone in the history of public health nursing service administration. So it has good points on the nursing service administration also. And in the year 72, the Government of India constituted a committee under the chairmanship of Kartar Singh. He was the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Planning, and to study the structure for integrated services at the peripheral and supervisory levels. So that was the task, and the feasibility of having multi-purpose workers in the field. This is Kartar Singh Committee. Okay, and the recommendations given were the ANMs should be replaced by the family health workers, and then basic health workers malaria surveillance workers, vaccinators, health education assistant of trachoma, HEAT, health education assistant of trachoma, are to be replaced by male health worker. Family planning also used to have a health assistant, and even they are to be replaced by male health workers. So these were all given to male health worker. So in the beginning, where malaria and smallpox were under control, male and female workers scheme were to be initiated, and later to other areas. Multipurpose workers were first initiated where malaria and smallpox were under control, and then it was for a PHC of 50,000 population. Same whatever the previous committee had given, the same thing they continued when it comes to the capacity of the PHC to serve 50,000 population. And each PHC, same, they used to have 16 sub-centers, 3,000 population, one sub-center. Each sub-center should have multipurpose worker male and multipurpose worker female. So same, it is almost the same. Health supervisor female should supervise 3 to 4 female multipurpose workers. So he introduced another cadre, health supervisor female, health supervisor male, who will be supervising 3 to 4 workers under them. So it is something like you are under their control. That is, he added one more category. And next is the concept of medical colleges integrating all health, family planning, nutrition and training programs were put forward. So medical colleges were supposed to teach the students about health, family planning, nutrition and training programs. This committee report is a milestone in the history of public health nursing service administration. So next is Srivastava Committee, 1975. This is also known as Group on Medical Education and Support Manpower. Group on Medical Education and Support Manpower. This was headed by Dr. J.B. Srivastava, the then Director General of Health Services. So what he recommended, paraprofessional or semi-professional workers, that is a new brand of health auxiliaries that should be created, and this will be a link between the doctor of the primary health center and the multipurpose workers. So he added one more cadre, paraprofessional or semi-professional workers, and then create auxiliaries from out of the educated members of the community, such as school teacher, postman or gram sevika. That is what he did. He involved the community. So he felt they will be more responsible when they are given the responsibility of the health of the society or their community. So he selected a few school teachers or postmen or gram sevikas. They had the power to select them, and then they are given, that is, they are not trained, they don't have any degrees, other things, but they are lay people. You select with the basic education, you select them, and then they are trained. Give them training and post them back to the village as community health guides. They were called community health guides. So that will make the things easy for the doctor, because a doctor may be from some other culture or he is coming from a different place, but this worker is a local, so he can communicate them in their language. He knows the culture and habits of that people, so it becomes easy for us to convince or get a behavior change or make them realize the importance of health. A local person telling becomes more easy. And community health guides, they provide basic curative and preventive services to the community from where they are coming. And then the multipurpose workers should be responsible for supervising these community health guides. So they can just say, suppose they go to a house and then, or in their locality, they see somebody constantly coughing, then they must be able to take the help of the multi-purpose worker. If the multi-purpose worker thinks it has to be evaluated, or you have to rule out COX or some other disease, they will be taken care of. Like, in the sense, they are always under the supervision of a multi-purpose worker. So that means community, there is a community health guide, community health worker, health assistant, and then on him is the primary health center medical officer. Steps to create bands of para-professionals or semi-professional health workers from community itself to provide simple, protective, preventive and curative services. That is their recommendation. So you select a few from the community itself, train them, and this is what you should expect. Simple, protective, preventive and curative cases, like you give them the training on that. They provide those services. Between the community and the primary health center, there should be two cadres, health workers and health assistants. So, community and then the PHC doctor, you have health workers and then health assistants. Next is Ramalinga Swamy Committee. This was in the year 1980. ICMR ICSSR Joint Panel 1980 Ramalinga Swamy Committee. This committee includes formulation of comprehensive national health policy. Basic objectives of the policy should be development of health system, should be integrated with overall plans of socio-economic development. That health is not a separate entity. It has to be integrated. Suppose, for example, there should be proper nutrition, supply of the ration and all. There should be good water, hygienic water supply, and the atmosphere and other things, taking care of the wild animals, whatever it is, all these things. It is an integrated activity. And then to ensure access to adequate food, provide environment conducive to health and adequate immunization wherever necessary. So it is food, as I told you previously, the same things that are told in this point. So you are taking care of the surroundings, you are taking care of the food, and then also immunization, vaccine preventable diseases. Devise an educational program for health. So it is educating the society and trying to get changes in them, so that every individual is responsible for their own health and improvement of their general well-being. And the objectives were to replace the existing model of healthcare, which will be village or community health voluntary health guide for every 1,000 people, sub-center for 5,000 population, community health center for 10,000 population, and district health center for 1 million population, the specialist center for 5 million population. So this is how they gave their guidelines. So you try to replace the existing model with this model. And then combining the best element in the tradition and culture of the people with modern science and technology, integrating promotive, preventive and curative function, democratic, decentralization and participatory model. So it is not like you go to a doctor when you are sick or when you are bedridden. So it is like you are more into promotive and preventive also. So it is democratic, decentralization and participatory model. So the community itself is participating in the health of the community, of the community, for the community, by the community. And oriented to people, that is providing adequate health care to every individual and taking special care of the vulnerable group. So you identify who need special care and for whom you have to give routine care. Firmly rooted in the community and involving people, to train the personnel to produce drugs and material and to organize research needed for this alternative healthcare system. And then a detailed time-bound program should be prepared. The needed administrative machinery created and finance provided on priority basis so that this new policy will be fully implemented and the goal of health for all be reached by the end of 2000 AD. So not only just training the people, having the infrastructure and budgeting and finance is allocated to different works on the priority basis. All these things were they wanted this to be implemented. And then health for all by 2000 was the goal, and a group of health was constituted by Planning Commission in 1980 with the Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as the chairman. So Planning Commission, the Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, he was the chairman. He to identify in program terms the goal for health for all by 2000 AD and to outline with that perspective the specific programs for the sixth 5-year plan. So this came under sixth 5-year plan, health for all by 2000 AD. And then especially for the nursing and nursing professional development, high power committee was established between 1987 to 89. It was set up by the Government of India in July 1987 under the chairmanship of Dr. Jyoti, former Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women University, Mrs. Rajkumari Sood, Nursing Advisor to Union Government as the Member Secretary, and CPB Kurup, Principal, Government College of Nursing, Bangalore, and the then President TNAI, also one of the prominent members of this committee. So this was a high power committee on nursing and nursing profession, also called as Vardharayan Committee. Later, due to some reasons, the committee was headed by Srimati Sarojini Varadappan, former chairperson of Central Social Welfare Board. She was not connected with the health or any other things. She is from the Social Welfare Board. And terms of reference of the committee: to look into the existing working conditions of nurses with particular reference to the status of the nursing care services both in the rural and urban areas. That is, they wanted to take into consideration working conditions of the nurses both in rural as well as the urban areas. To study and recommend the staffing norms necessary, and not only their working condition, like if they are overburdened, it becomes difficult, they can't give the attention to the patient. So the staffing, how many nurses are needed for how many OP, how many IP, like that, they have fixed some standards. So this will help them give the quality work, and they are also not overburdened. This was different for the hospitals and the community. The need for the hospitals will be different from that of the need for the community. To look into the training of all categories and levels of nursing midwifery personnel to meet the nursing manpower needed at all levels of health services and education also. That is not only providing service in building up the manpower, education also. Nursing education was also given care. To study and clarify the role of nursing personnel in the healthcare system, including their interaction with other members of the health team at every level of health service management. So what are their duties, what are the responsibilities, all this they studied, and then they clarified the role of the nursing personnel in the healthcare, where what is expected from them, how they have to maintain the quality. All these were also included. To examine the need for organized nursing services at the national, state, district and local levels, with particular reference to the need for planning service with the overall care system of the country at the respective levels. So it was organizing of the nursing services, national, state, district and local, from below to above or above to below. Everything was looked into, minute details. To look into all other aspects, the committee will hold consultation with the state governments. So the need may vary from state to state. So all these things they would look into the other aspects also. Okay, they'll have discussions with the different states. Suppose tribal people are more, how to arrange, so many other aspects. Then in 1977, Rural Health Scheme, most important recommendation of the Srivastava Committee. It was that primary health care should be provided within the community itself through specially trained workers so that the health of the people is placed in the hands of the people themselves. The plan of action was adopted by the joint meeting of the Central Council of Health and Central Family Planning Council held in New Delhi in April 1976. Like health, the community, the people themselves were made responsible. So you should know what is health, how to maintain. If you are not well, how to go to a doctor, or where you should go, what are all the facilities available. You should be in a position to deal on, that is, you should develop the interest to be healthy on your own. And then appointment of ANMs and all, they said for 2500 population, 2 ANMs, and 1 ANM for 1500 population in hilly areas, 1 health supervisor for 7500 population. That is, for 3 ANMs there will be 1 health supervisor, and public health nurse, and for 30,000 primary health center, that is, you will have 30,000 population and 4 health supervisors you will be having. And there will be 2 district officers in each district. Public health nursing. Simplification of recording system. Adequate provision of supplies, drugs, etc. is made. So everything has to be recorded, whatever you are seeing, the number of patients coming. So that is medical record maintenance has also simplified. Gazetted rank for the post of primary public health nurse and above grade, and specific standing orders be made available to ANMs and health supervisors and all. And next committee in 1986, it was Bajaj Committee, also known as Expert Committee on Health Manpower Planning, Production and Management. And again it was headed by Dr. S. Bajaj, a professional from AIIMS, New Delhi. And what were the recommendations of the committee? Express a national health manpower policy. So they started recommending how many doctors are needed, how many nurses are needed, how many technicians are needed, etc., or how many hospitals may need, all these things. Formulate a national policy on education in health sciences. So there should be a policy on education of the medical sciences. Conduct a countrywide survey of health manpower. So what are the deficiencies, how to train them, how to fill them, all these things. So first they did a survey on the existing manpower, health manpower. Appointment nurses as follows. Staff outpatient nurse for 100 OP, 1 staff nurse, and when it comes to hospital beds, for 10 beds, 1 staff nurse, plus 30% extra they recommended. Suppose if somebody goes on leave, you should not have the deficiency. And 1 ward sister for 25 beds, plus 30% extra as leave reserve. And 1 nursing superintendent for a hospital with 200 beds or more, 1 deputy nursing superintendent for 300 beds and more hospital. So upgrade and improve medical and health education infrastructure and technology. Rural areas you should establish a community health center for every 1 lakh population. CHC for every 1 lakh population. Establish Educational Commission for Health Services on the lines of the University Grants Commission. Set up Health Science University in all states and union territories. Establish Health Manpower Cell at the center and in the states, and vocationalization education at 10+2 level as regards health related fields. This will lead to the availability of good quality paramedical personnel. That is, after finishing the inter, they were given special vocational training and then they were absorbed into the service as lab technicians or radiology technicians or multi-purpose health workers, etc. So then the agendas to be discussed: National Rural Health Mission, medical education, AIDS control program, tuberculosis, control of tobacco, National Alcohol Control Policy, Ayush, that is your indigenous medical system also was introduced, oncology, cancer research and treatment. So in conclusion, these committees are appointed from time to time to look into the issues of the healthcare administration, and then they would come up with, you identify some problem, then you suggest the solutions, and they were being implemented. Recommendations made by these committees were very helpful to make an excellent change in our healthcare delivery system. So we also, along with this, we had the 5-year plans which helped us move the country towards betterment after independence. In summary, there are various health and welfare committees like Bore, Shetty, Chadda, Mudaliar, Mukherjee, Jain, Jungalwala, Kartar Singh, Srivatsa Committee, and then Rural Health Scheme, Ramalinga Swamy Committee, report of the Working Group on Medical Education and Manpower Planning, and Bajaj Committee, High Power Committee on Nursing and Nursing Profession. So Rural Health Scheme, it was in 1977. Primary health care should be provided within the community through specially trained workers so that the health of the people is placed in the hands of the people themselves. Reorientation training of multi-purpose workers engaged in communicable disease program. So whenever we have the national health programs, they used to select the people, train them, and they were placed in different categories. Involvement of medical colleges in the selected PHC with the objective of reorienting medical education to the need of rural people. Health for All by 2000 AD, Report of Working Group 1981. This is to identify goals for health for all by 2000 AD and to outline specific programs for the 6th 5-year plan. And again we had different 5-year plans, and it was formulated by Planning Commission to rebuild rural India to secure balanced development of all parts of India. And the broad objectives for these 5-year plans were to control or eradicate major communicable diseases, strengthening of basic health services through establishment of PHCs and subcenters, population control, that's family planning implementation, and then development of health manpower resources. So these were the main broad objectives of the 5-year plans, and 5-year plans were formulated by Planning Commission. So we have in 1950 it started. Originally actually it is even before independence. It was in the year 1938, Congress and then Subhash Chandra Bose, they both started, and our great engineer Sir M. Vishweshwaraya was heading this Planning Commission. But then afterwards, Jawaharlal Nehru becoming the PM, he took over the work. So this is from 1950. Assessment of material, capital, human resource, draft development plans for effective utilization of the resources, different planning divisions with program advisors, technical divisions of Planning Commission, and first 5-year plan was 51 to 56, and health sector included water supply and sanitation, control of communicable diseases, medical education training and research, medical care including hospitals, dispensaries and PHCs, public health services, family planning, indigenous system of medicine, that is Ayush. And then again in 11th plan was 2007 to 12. Then they fixed goals. MMR should be 1 per 1000 live births, IMR, infant mortality rate 28 per 1000 live births, total fertility rate, because the family planning has to be controlled, they wanted it to be maintained at 2.1, and They wanted to provide clean drinking water by 2009. Malnutrition has to be reduced by half between the age group of 0 to 3 years. Anemia reduction in women and girls by 50%. Rising sex ratio 0 to 6 years 935 by 11 to 12, 2011 to 12, 950 by 16 to 17. So every 5-year plan they would fix the goals, they will have a target and try to reach it. And this is a bird's eye view like thing, so you can know the first plan and then the 11th plan. For example, we take the sub-centers. It was not available in the 51 to 56 time, and it was 1,48,124 sub-centers by the time 2007 to 12, and medical colleges were only 42 and it was 335. So there was a vast improvement. They could know for the population of India, we have to develop a lot, and this is how slowly it was in a phased manner with the failures in between and some difficulties. Whatever it is, this is how they have achieved. And then this is one word about Niti Aayog. I think you all must have heard about this, and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his first Independence Day speech in 2014, he announced his intention to dissolve the Planning Commission, and it is being replaced by Niti Aayog. The full form of this Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India. So Swachh Bharat, there are so many programs under this. So Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, so many things are coming under this, including care for the most downtrodden, to the equality, everything. And again at the committee, it is chaired by the Prime Minister. Under him will be the Finance Minister, and then all the CMs of the different states are there, and then you also have the Union Territories in charges and technical support, and then the other financial support and all. So it is a team work for development and making our country the one of the leaders of the world. You have any doubts, you can just put the queries in the if you want, you can ask me.